right. Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahushai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahushai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahushai, Bahashar Chakodash. I want to give double honors to our elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and blessings, health and wellness to the house of David the elect. On Zahar, Spirit, Way, and Judah. And today I want to go into a topic. Well, I don't really have a name for the topic, but it's going into your health. All right, it's going into your health because I believe there is a food matrix. And the reason why there is a food matrix in part is because, all right, the same words that we use to describe food, all right, no longer represents what we're putting on our tables, all right, what we're putting on our plates, all right. For example, all right, we know that there is no sin against eating chicken, right? So we say, well, yeah, it's okay to eat chicken, but you don't understand, or you might not understand that they're dropping it in grease. When you go through a fast food restaurant, they're dropping it in grease. In an average restaurant, they're dropping it in grease that's high in saturated fat. All right, it's high in saturated fat. Another thing that you might not understand, all right, this is what happens with Christians, or even, you know, from a health standpoint, Jake is in the truth. Like, yeah, there's no sin against eating certain things, but look what the Food and Drug Administration, look at what Big Pharma, all right, well, I said the Food and Drug Administration has allowed to happen with the chicken. First of all, there's a mass production of chicken, and I'm not just targeting chicken, I'm using it as an example, all right. So we say, okay, it's okay to eat chicken, all right, but then you don't understand that the shot with hormones, they're packed with hormones and all type of chemicals, and they were raised in very hazardous environments are for the health of the bird. So if you eat a sick bird, what do you think it happens to you? All right, like I said, they have all type of hormones injected in them, all right, because they're subject to a formula under capitalism that engenders mass profit. They're subject to a formula under capitalism to engender mass profit, which is going to lead to immoral practices, all right? Immoral practices such as, like I said, steroid injection, all right, different hormones injected in them, all right, there's different chemicals, all right, different sodiums to fatten them up, all right. So it's a food matrix because you say, well, chicken isn't bad. Yeah, theoretically, all right, but look what they're doing to it, all right. Same thing with dairy, all right, because with the cows just like women, all right, female cows just like women, they only milk their young, all right, when they're pregnant. Cows only have milk when they're pregnant. So E has all type of technology and all type of practices to force the cow to be pregnant just so it can produce milk, man. All right, and that, along with other things, causes mucus build up in your body when you consume stuff like that. All types of adverse reactions. First of all, most jakes are lactose intolerant anyway, but when you add these things, all right, to your diet, add these things to your palate, all right, thinking, okay, there's nothing wrong with it because of the food pyramid, and if you're in knowledge, you might say, well, it's not a sin, of course, but it's straight up plaque, all right. Like I said, the majority of our diet, historically speaking, was plant-based, all right. Plants heal, but nonetheless, in America, you're eating like artificial kings, okay? You're eating like artificial kings, all right, and you eat in excess, and it causes an artery buildup. And the number one cause of death in America, all right, the number one cause of death in America, and I know you can't see me, all right, it's still done. It's not, the sun hasn't risen yet, you know. So, but I know you can hear me. But the number one cause of this, death in America is heart disease. So one may ask, what is what you just named, chicken or processed food in general, processed meat and dairy, what does it have to do with heart disease? All right, because in one breath you're talking about dropping something in oil. All right, another breath you're talking about steroid injection and different chemicals. So what does it have to heart disease. All right, I'll tell you what that has to do with heart disease. All right, heart disease is the result of your arteries being clogged up with plaque. All right, heart disease is a result of your arteries being clogged up with plaque, and you can no longer get blood circulation to and from your heart. All right, same thing with dementia. All right, your arteries are so clogged up in your brain, those little small arteries are so clogged up that you got poor oxygen to your brain. That's why the #1 herb for dementia is ginkgo. Because what does ginkgo do? Ginkgo releases oxygen. It releases oxygen in your brain. It releases oxygen in your arteries, man, which causes mental clarity and things of that nature. All right, but the #1 cause of heart disease is a lack of blood flow, blood supply to your heart. So you have coronary heart disease, coronary heart disease, and what that does, that causes, like I said, a plaque buildup, or what holistic healers would call a mucus buildup. Same thing, all right, in your arteries. All right, and that's the #1 cause of death in America, is that heart disease. Really, plaque buildup in your arteries, man. Ain't that some shit? Okay, so what happens is they play operation on you. Do you remember that game? Back in the day, they would call it operation, where you have like a man, you can take different organs out of his body. Hindsight, I see that the elites, I believe the elites was mocking us, man, through that game. What they were doing to the Goyim. All right, they play operation on you. So you have these bypass surgeries where they basically cleanse up the plaque out of your arteries. All right, but they never tell you how to really prevent that plaque from building up in your arteries. You have something called a stent. All right, where I found out that basically that's replacing your clogged up artery with the artificial artery. So they really play an operation with you, man. They're Frankensteining you, man. All right, and the reason why they do those things, and the reason why that's part of their protocol when you have that plaque buildup, is because doctors make their money off drug prescriptions. All right, prescribing, all right, a drug prescription, a particular drug, all right, through lobbyists, pharmaceutical lobbyists. All right, that's how they make their money. And the other way they make their money is off procedures. So you very well have doctors who make $1 billion a year. I hope they don't take this video down, but they might. All right, you very well have doctors who make $1 million a year, not off being a doctor per se, or a doctor's salary, but because of procedures and drug prescriptions. All right, that's how they get their guap. That's how they get their guacamole, that green, man. All right, through procedures and prescribing drugs. Your body doesn't need drugs. As a matter of fact, your body shouldn't have drugs. Your body needs the earth. All right. So anytime there's a middleman between you and what you put on your plate, it's going to result in disease. All right. So did we eat meat from time to time? And historically speaking, yeah, we did. But did we have to go through a corporation? So the biggest sickness in the planet Earth, the reason why the Earth is dying, the Earth is being murdered right now, it's being butchered right now, because industries under the you know who, all right, those banking families, there are industries, all right, that mass deplete the Earth of its resources. All right, there are industries that mass deplete the Earth of its resources under a system called capitalism. All right, you mass deplete the Earth of its resources. All right, you put people in a modern form of slavery to produce a product. All right, the animals are basically oppressed. All right, because they're subjugated to the same capitalistic formula that you would put a rocking chair on the assembly line under to mass produce. So animals are being mass produced per se, and they're subject to inhumane practices that really turn that animal to a product. All right, and in return we get sick. All right. So as it says in the scriptures, we are not ignorant of his devices, man. So another thing they get us with is moderation. All right, but if you eat poison in moderation, all right, you're still gonna be poisoned. All right. So you got the dietary law, which is, that's something that you can't turn from. That's key. But then you got context of what environment we're in. And half of this stuff is just not good for your body, man. Alright? You're going to find out that the reason why you are sick, because you're dietarily oppressed. It's one thing to be financially oppressed. If you're working paycheck to paycheck, you're oppressed. If you're struggling to pay bills, you're oppressed. Or if you're in debt, you're oppressed, because it tells you that the borrower is a slave to the lender. But also, if your body is subject to disease, you're oppressed. If you're always tired, all right, you're always sick, all right, you got pain in your body is oppressed. But in part, the way you liberate your body is to exercise, all right, and get rid of that processed food, man, all right, and put those plants inside of your body. All right, but with that, I hope you brothers and sisters were edified. Till the next time, shalom.